How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the League Starter tier list for the new SS9 Outlaw season for Torchlight Infinite. Again, this is going to be my tier list for recommendations for League Starters that will get you into tier 8, and then you can use that to make the money to push it further. Any of these characters, there's going to be a lot of them that are on here that are rated lower, that while they are capable of doing the hardest content in the game and can do it very well, their experiences off of League Start are a little bit slower than what you are going to get on some of the other classes. So without further ado, let's kind of go over where things are. So first things first, we have the Thea Blasphemer from last league. She was barely adjusted. They ended up pushing just a tiny bit of damage adjustments to her. Overall, she's losing maybe 20% damage or something like that. It's very, very minimal. She had a very, very smooth experience. Very nice experience. So it was one of those things that with some barely any adjustments to her, she's still going to be really smooth. Very smooth into the tier 8, and something that is very comfortable to get yourself out to where you can start farming some money. Same thing, we have Gemma. Gemma 3 with the Hammer of Ash build was still extremely strong. There has been no real adjustments to this outside of the changes that were made to everyone. She's still very, very good defensively and offensively, and has the ability to run any of the ground slam or ground shaker builds that you're going to see, for the same reason why Rosa is up here as well. Is the ground shaker and the strength scaling stuff has just been buffed overall with the stuff they've added, so that's just getting better. And you're going to see a trio here of Erika 1, Erika 2, and the new Rosa. They are all in the S tier for the same reason for me, and that mainly is Thunder Spike. So there's been some significant pushes to Thunder skills along with the new Thunder Focus. And I think this is going to end up pushing lightning builds even further above where they already were, right? Erika 1, Erika 2 were already extremely strong, and the new Rosa fits right in. She slots right into the exact same kit. You can basically take the exact same build and the exact same gear and throw it onto the new Rosa, and she's going to be doing just as well. And then you can add the mana and other things on top, and you're going to be able to just push her damage to an extreme. Over what you're already seeing with Erika 1 and Erika 2. So the stacking numbed effect, and then leaning into these new focuses, you're going to be able to push some extreme damage numbers, and they're all going to be fantastic. Iris had some buffs as well. She's had the cooldown recovery speed incorporated directly into her kit for her hero talents, which is just going to basically be pushing her even further and opening up more availability for her other than just lightning spirit magi. Because of that, again, it's pushing it into the next tier kind of damage. And then honestly, Iris 2 is another one of these characters that she's barely just slightly behind right now because of the nerfs. They did kind of heavily nerf her 2 leagues ago, or last league rather. They nerfed her quite a bit, so she lost like half of her damage overall. But if you actually look at the ladder for what people were doing on her, they were actually still pulling off similar things with Iris 2 versus Iris 1. It was pretty similar. The builds for Iris 1 versus Iris 2, people actually ended up pushing it. Again, basically exactly the same. But the difference with this is the money required to get here is a bit steeper. So while Iris 2 is capable of catching up, that early game experience isn't as smooth as it once was, just because of the nerfs that were made early on, which impacted her leveling quite a bit. These next ones here, everything in the A tier list are all going to be extremely solid, but not going to be like the absolute strongest thing. You're still going to have to put them on like pretty specific builds and actually still craft decent amounts of gear in order to push them into tier 8 comfortably. But Carino 2 still has shotgunning built into his kit. that is one of those things that you're just going to get a ton of damage out of it regardless of what happens. As long as shotgunning exists within Carino 2's kit, Carino 2 is going to be really strong. The changes to activation mediums mean, again, you are going to be self-casting a bit more, which is a little rough on your hand because you're attacking very, very quickly, and you are going to have to be clicking those buttons a little very quickly, but it's still going to be worth doing and still going to be very strong. So those kits still there. We have Gemma 2. Same thing goes. All of this early game frost or freezing with frigid transmission to quickly map, and basically you're completing maps at the same speed as Erika with the defenses of permanently freezing everything or freezing everything when you first touch it for the first time. That's extremely strong. Same thing goes with Selena. Again, very comfortable because with the channeling build, you can still be running this on Ice Beam and getting effects of the exact same thing with Gemma 2, where you are just getting a lot of freezing, and then you are just running the channeling builds in order to push yourself into a comfortable tier 8, stacking them channeling stacks. Rosa is the same thing. We have Ground Shaker as well as just leaning into the standard strength stack. That's going to be really, really solid. She pretty much didn't really lose anything outside of a little bit of AoE and a tiny bit of block ratio. So she was still extremely strong defensively, which the name of the game right now is you lead things into deeper than tier 8 is mainly defenses required for profound and for deep space. So Rosa helps cover that side of the tree. So it means you can focus more offensively outside of that. The ones here in the B tier, these are still really solid. Anger Rehan did basically lose a little bit of status here because the Anger kit itself was actually nerfed quite significantly. So it was already pretty finicky in order to get the cooldown required to make burst function really well. They nerfed the additional damage dealt by active attack skills outside of burst. I don't think it really matters that much because the damage you were getting from it was minor anyways. But the big one that they changed is, you can see here, it used to be 100% of bonus to additional attack damage or attack speed to cooldown recovery, and it's been nerfed to 70%. So you're already having issues getting all of the cooldown recovery speed that you needed, and they're making it even harder now. So because of that, and then the burst weapon damage here has been adjusted. It is down to 340% from 410. So it was 410. I have a feeling this 12% multiplicative has been changed to the 8% multiplicative like every other skill, which is how it ended up down at that amount of 340%. So there's that. And then again, the other Berserker, or the other Rehan rather, life stacking is still just as strong as it was. Strength stacking was being pushed and buffed even further. So that's going to be fantastic, and he's still going to be really solid. We have both Gemma 1 and Youga. These are both going to be really, really solid. Youga still has the Spell Burst build. There are some new Spell Burst items as well that are going to be pushing Spell Burst even further. So those are going to be really, really good, and something you can always count on if you want to just play something slightly off meta and maybe get yourself some cheaper gear. Gemma 1 still has the same options. You can always go the standard Thundercloud farming builds. You'll see a ton of them on Bilibili and in other sources. Same goes with Carino 1. You have the Hammer of Ash build on him. You have Split Arrow. So there's quite a bit of options there. Again, if you want to be slightly off meta, but realistically, if you're going to play Carino, you're probably still better off just playing Carino 2. Carino 3, he is kind of a bit of a toss-up with the rework on him. I'm still putting him in D just because until he's proven, can't really trust what's happening with him unless we're getting concrete stuff. The numbers themselves don't make him stand out extremely well, especially with the removal of greater multiple projectiles as a support. That's losing 18 bullets on him right away, basically by having that, because before you were running LMP plus GMP in order to get 5 projectiles out of it, and you can't do that anymore. So I think that's going to hurt any of the buffs that they actually gave for him. So we'll have to see where that stands out. Same goes with Moto. They did do some reworks here on Moto to add some extra stuff for overload effect. it might push things up quite a bit. But overall, the minions themselves, the synthetic minions, just have worse early game scaling. They just don't seem to be pumping out as much damage or as much clear as the spirits do. So the spirit magi are just outperforming the synthetics really early still, and you don't get access to the magi until quite a bit later on the motos. So they're solid. You don't really have a good time, or you don't have a bad time with them. To be honest, there should be like a C tier in here that where the motos should honestly be, because they are slightly ahead of the other Theas. The Theas are just really, really hard to start on again. They're once you have money, they're fantastic. They're great, but without it, they're just in a bad place. So, and then we have down here Youga. Unfortunately, its bread and butter skill, mind control, was pretty much just removed from the game. So mind control was nerfed quite significantly. So the base damage on it was just basically nerfed by a significant amount on top of everything else. It's not like the damage for mind control was anything crazy already. It wasn't outperforming anything else. It had already kind of taken a little bit of a hit last league. They removed the ability to even level with mind control on Youga. They did add the movement speed penalty to it last league as well. So they really are just trying to get people to stop playing it, and I think they might have finally done it here. So I wouldn't really recommend it to anything. You are just going to be better off playing the Blasphemer Thea if you are going to be playing an erosion-based build. Otherwise, kind of stay away. And then Bing, poor Bing over here, they ended up heavily nerfing the barrage builds. So anything or any opportunity that people were trying to do and still use any barrage builds with Bing have all just been kind of nerfed like 15 ways over. So Bing is at a place, he's been reworked a few times now, and I think they're going to have to rework him again. So yeah, I'm curious if you guys have any specifics. If you guys think I'm dead wrong about something, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, I'll be getting some builds up again for these S tier classes as well as most of the A tier classes. I want to get these up, but I need them to release trees. So if you guys find videos or anything, resources of the actual passive skill trees somewhere that they get posted on China or somewhere, then let me know. I want to see them because I want to be able to give you guys some more concrete information, because with there now being 4 talent trees, some things may change a decent amount. So yeah, leave your comments down below, and other than that, see you in the next one.